はい、おはようございます。Isn't it funny? I remember looking at this poll on Friday and it was mostly bearish, but not by a significant amount. Um, in any case, I was not completely, but unproductive in terms of this stuff this weekend. I know I had said that I think I said I was going to erase all my drawings on SPY and just focus on the trend lines only. But of course, that means I would have to redo all of my weekly and daily levels because I can't get rid of all these applications. They don't give you much control over removing drawings. It's pretty much remove all of them, or yeah, that's it. Remove all or none. Um, Thinkorswim will give you the option of removing um, drawings that are like certain days old. Uh, I don't see the point in that. Maybe someone else thinks this is a good idea, but I just don't. I mean, to me, it's like you would have to know when was it? When did I put my weekly and daily drawings? How long ago was that, you know? And, you know, over the past week, I've added new trend lines that are, major trend lines that I might want to keep. So what if I just want to remove the levels that have been created over the past 2 weeks, but I don't want to remove my trend lines that I put for the past, 5 days. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's like many things with Thinkorswim. I think it's asinine. So, but unfortunately, TradingView isn't any better. TradingView doesn't give you the option to remove drawings. I think over a period of time, maybe they do remove drawings. See, that's it. You can remove all or nothing. There's no there's no real option there. So, um, and I don't know what's going on with me, but uh, for the past few days, um, I've been feeling a lot of brain fog. Like if you ever had to wake up earlier than you would like, and you feel a little bit dizzy, a little bit hungover, um, just you feel sleepy in the brain. It's like deep in the brain. That's how I'm feeling all day Saturday, Sunday, and of course Monday. And I thought, you know what? I know I said I was not gonna work out, but screw that. I took myself out to work out on Saturday. I did upper body because usually when I work out, it's 2 or 3 days a week, and it's legs or upper body, one of the two. If I do a third day, then I try and do some cardio with battle ropes and some um, core, which my core is terrible. And even doing that, I felt brain fog. I worked out well. I performed okay, not great considering I've been sedentary for over um, almost a week. But just awful brain fog, and I've been clumsy, running into the wall, running into doors, stubbing my freaking toe on everything. And the worst thing is, and I hope it doesn't get too busy today. It's not that bad today, but I gouged out a small chunk of my finger, my pointer finger, um, attempting to clean my blender with a sponge, which is stupid that you would want to do that because the blender has the blades on the bottom and the blades can't be removed. Um, but unfortunately, I used to always clean my blender with I used to always clean my blender with uh, a brush, a long stick with a brush at the end that's in a cone shaped. And like you'll clean a baby bottle or water bottles or whatever, you put the brush down the bottle and you scrub the inside of the bottle. That's it. It was a very useful tool. I've had it. I don't even know when it was I bought it. I've had it so long, and infuriatingly, for reasons I can't begin to fathom, the the roommate that just left decided to take it upon herself to go and buy a new brush on my behalf, along with some other things, and throw away my old brush. But the problem is the new brush isn't a long stick. It's like it's a thick handle, a flat handle. It bends up at the end and has a square-shaped brush with bristles only on one side. And the bristles are soft and it can't fit inside of my water bottles. It can't even fit inside a big water bottle I have. And the bristles are so soft, you can't really use it to clean dishes. So it's a completely useless brush. And because I can't use it to clean my blender now, I have to take a sponge and reach down my blender and try and scrub the very bottom right under the blades. And I was doing that on, I think it was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday or Sunday. And being brain fog, clumsy, I I was scrubbing the bottom, like I said, and moved my finger, moved my hand to the side, and the blade sliced into my pointer finger. And when you reach out and you touch something sharp or you touch something hot, what's the first reaction that you do is you pull your hand away. It's like an instinctive reaction. You don't even have control of it. Your body does it automatically. And when I felt that sharp cut into my finger, I yanked my finger out of the blender and I had to stop my own body's reaction. And by then, blood was dripping all over the blender, the sink, everything. I don't have any band-aids or anything, so I just took tape and toilet paper and just wrapped my finger up and held it there. Um, but yeah, it's infuriating because she threw away my things, and it's just my mindset is what kind of what kind of sort of arrogant presumptuousness must one possess that they would just go and throw something that belongs to you away without asking you. And I remember she told me she was sitting on the air mattress and she was like, I bought some things for the kitchen and I think you're going to be very happy. And I didn't say anything to her. I'm like, you know, but she replaced a sponge that needed to be replaced soon, and she bought new dishwashing liquid. Um, and the sponges she got are okay. They're not bad. So I know she's well intentioned, so I never said anything to her about it. I just couldn't bring myself to get too upset about it, but I was worried that I might end up doing this, cutting my finger like a fool. And sure enough, that's what I did. So I am just completely out of it, man. I cannot focus. Even sitting down and playing video games, I can't do that right. Everything I'm doing is just screwed up. Um, and I don't know what to do about this brain fog. I try going to bed early and trying sleeping more, but nothing really helps. I don't know. I'm just beyond stressed. And of course, I did the math when I deposit the money that was given to me by the roommate before she left, and the little money I got from that client who's now out of town again, I still won't have enough to pay the rent until I get paid again the end of this week. The problem is, frustratingly, that I know I checked this already. I get paid again there, and then this plus this plus this is going to be just enough, this payment and this payment, enough to pay the rent of the car payment for um, the next month. But here's the problem. I have a $750 bill that's going to be due for my car insurance here. I will not have the funds for that unless I can get another roommate. And that's not going too well because, as usual, I keep getting messages from guys saying they're interested despite the fact that my ad says females only. And and some are so obnoxious and arrogant that they'll send the message more than once. I'm interested. I'm interested. Here's my number. And I want to respond to them and say, hey, I'm curious. Did you not read the ad? Do you not realize it says female only? And I'm pretty sure I can already predict the response. And they'd be like, yeah, I know that, but I figured I'll send the message anyways because I'm interested. Because if they're interested, they should get it, right? That's one of the things that annoys me about guys and living in Miami. It's something that infuriated me is that there are guys who play for the other team and they want you. They find you attractive and they'll tell you. And you say, yeah, thank you, but I don't swing that way. They don't care. They don't care. They want you, so they'll still try. And something in their puny brains tells them that if they want something, if they put enough effort to it, they will get it. I don't know if it's their upbringing. I don't know if it's because maybe they've hooked up with other guys that said they weren't that way, but then obviously they were. I mean, look, I don't want to get too much into this, but if you're either I don't know, I guess there's shades of gray, and it's not always binary black or white, but I do not have any grays in terms of that at all, and I've let them know, and frustratingly they will still try. And then the worst ones is the ones when you shut them down that they get vindictive and petty and they want to do something to screw you over because you shut them down. That's what irritates me. So I don't know if this is I'm sure it's not just a Miami thing, but since I've lived here most of my life, that's something I've experienced more than a few times here in Miami. I even had one guy try and get me in trouble at work as a police officer. I don't know if I ever mentioned that story, but let's start with this for now. I don't. I really shouldn't be trading at all today. I shouldn't even open the screen. I thought about not making a video because if I can't walk through the hallway without running into my closet door, or stub my foot on the desk, or my yep, I screwed this up here, or the bed, or the nightstand. I'm walking the corner and I hit my toe on the nightstand. I just gouging my finger. I'm just in idiot mode for the past few days, and I'm worried that I'm going to do something idiotic here and mess up and lose money, which I don't really have much in my account as it is. I'm already mad that on Friday I got in at $14 and exited at 25. I went from here to here and left all of this, even if I only got half of this move and made 20 bucks instead of 10 bucks, I would have been more content. I would have been like, yeah, this is good. You know, I went from $16 to $36. I'll take it, you know? But this was a pathetic move. And I mean, this was a pathetic trade. And let me bring over TradingView. You can see, weirdly, we opened on Sunday. Good Lord, man. And I see I haven't gotten rid of this cough. We opened on Sunday, and I believe this is my good Lord. Nope. Let's try this then. This is my megaphone. This is my megaphone, and I added another one here because Adam Mancini's megaphone, I swear it keeps changing, or I'm just forgetting where it is. So, and it's still not really accurate to his mega. Of course, my whole chart's not accurate to his chart, but you can see we're rejecting here for now. I think 4244 was Adam Mancini's ultimate target for now. I'm debating about whether or not I should get rid of this, but I'm just going to extend it. I'm going to extend this as well. So we are now, the bottom of this was resistance is now support. So I think Adam Mancini, I read his tweet early this morning because I've been up since 8. He said 4221 is current support, and we don't start selling unless we lose that. I'll just go ahead and read his full tweet once I can pull it up. Last week, ES rallied to 130 points and broke out a 2-month range. My first target was 4243. We hit it Sunday Eve and have now been building the first post-breakout base. Plan today, 4243, 4221 basing range. This sets up next leg to 425560. 4275 target number 2. We get a dip only if 4221 fails. So 4221 is support, but 4243, which I guess I should put that level, or should I just move this one? 4243 is current resistance. This means, of course, it's quite likely that we might, not likely, it's quite possible that we may just start rallying at the bell, or we may sell and test a previous level. I could see we formed a demand here, but we also formed a supply here. So again, trading the day after a big rally is challenging. Let me see if any comments were made that he added. One guy goes, "Let's have a great week," and Adam responded, "Probably be a light week for me. I haven't had an entry since the 4147 newsletter entry Thursday evening. Once this runner gets stopped out, that will be no more trading today. So maybe a 2 to 3 trade week max." One guy goes, "Adam, please respond to my DMs. Thanks." All right, let's move TradingView out of the way for now. And let's see if we can figure something out here on Thinkorswim. Good luck with that. So bull flag. Let's see if we can find a bull flag here. I kind of see one, but it looks like we've already broken out of it. Right here. And I would have preferred to have seen a retest of something here, but nope. So if we've already broken out the bull flag, I mean, if this was 9:30 and it broke out of here, then yeah, I can understand. But this happened at 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of this 2-day channel that formed. I might keep the bottom though. Ugh, I gotta get rid of so many price levels, man. Especially because I was just adding levels on SPY, hoping to get an idea of where we were in relation to the S&P, the ES, but that didn't really work. I'm still curious of the fact that on this, I still think this is interesting. This was the Monday session. I didn't know the VIX would be open on Monday, but on Friday, yes, we had our rally, but right at 11 o'clock, VIX bottomed out, and it just kept rising since then, even though SPY and ES was still rallying. Sunday, we opened, no, is this Sunday? No, this is Monday morning. We opened and not much, but this drop here is interesting. So yeah, I don't know if it's time to get rid of this channel now, if this is no longer relevant. I don't know if I see anything new. I want to see where the current low is again. Yeah, I marked it. So the current low is 1553 and we're at 17, so there's room to drop. I'm also wondering if it's time to get rid of this megaphone, but this was a good indication. I wish I had considered this, whatever this was, on Monday, to take this short. But it's still, I think it's so odd and just so frustrating how seemingly unpredictable the market can be sometimes, how it just drops down and then turns around and comes right back up. So we break out of, and I have this all messed up. This is all lopsided now. But I'm gonna get rid of it. God, I should just remove everything and just start over. We break out of this trend line, we rally, we bottom, we top out, and then come back down, try and retest, fail, and then drop, and then come back up again from this weekly and this trend, whatever. I think I'm gonna add the 4143 level here. You guys probably can't hear the noise from the street downstairs, the construction, but I was thinking, it's just amazing, man. Ever since I've lived on the beach, I have not gone without construction. I mean, yesterday was. I would like to say yesterday I could enjoy some quiet, but unfortunately the piece of garbage humans upstairs from me were extremely annoying. This Memorial Day weekend. I mean, obnoxious. At 7 in the morning, I woke up on Sunday because I heard what sounded like, I don't know, like someone took a cord or keys or something and drop. It felt like it sounded like something dropped right next to me. And I woke up and I looked. I'm thinking, did I drop my keys, my phone? No, my phone's here on the bed. My keys are in my bag. What just dropped? And I actually got up and looked around trying to figure out what it was. And maybe like 10 minutes later, I heard a similar sound drop, and it was the morons upstairs. And all Sunday, they were just constantly making noise. And wait, I made this video. I think this was Sunday. I don't know why the sound is so low on this crap phone, but it sounded like they were running wires, like not just a wire, like they took a hanger, a clothing hanger, opened it up, and was running it into like a metal tube in the wall, and that went on for a while. That's why I recorded it, and I was gonna go downstairs and complain, but I'm just so fed up with complaining about these people and nothing changes. So maybe that's part of why I'm having my brain fog, because these absolute piece of garbage people upstairs keep making noise. Um, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I think I'm just gonna walk away and not bother trading at all today because I don't know. Okay, if I had to think of a plan, there's always three possibilities. I don't even know why I'm mentioning this, but we could either just chop between 4221 here, which let me go ahead and change the screen, I suppose. We can always chop between 4221 and 4243. We could chop here for a while. I wonder if I don't remember if there's anything specific this week. I don't think there is. I remember checking, and I think there's a CPI or CPE on Friday, but nothing special this week. There's no FOMC meeting, nothing like that. So I don't know if we'll chop and wait for something to happen before we proceed forward, or we drop. It's possible that we could retest this demand that formed here. I think I might as well just mark this down here. We may retest this demand and then push forward some more, but we'll have to get past this, and the fact that we're opening so high above the VWAP is a possibility that we might retest here. So, okay, if we pull back, we could bounce here at demand. which is confluent to VWAP. So this would be a probable bounce. Or we can pull back to the bull flag and retest it, but maybe not act the bull flag. And 4221 is down here. So we could bounce here as well. So there's plenty of room to drop, and bulls will still be in major control. So yeah, it would be unwise to go long at the bell, especially that we formed this supply right here. If it had been retested, I would be more confident in putting this line, but I'm going to put it anyways. So we have a supply and a demand right here, and we're almost smack dab in the middle. We have the bull flag breakout. We have VWAP at demand. We have this weekly. I should not have changed that green. Wait. Oh, I know why I turned it. I had it red because it was supposed to be like the major top out area. Clearly, it's not. Now it's support. So VIX is telling me nothing. So I don't know, guys. I mean, if I was big money man, I would probably try a scalp at the bell short. I would try a scalp at the bell short with the assumption that uh, some people have taken a swing from last week and maybe didn't take a sell yesterday, even though the market was open for a little bit. Because if they decided to sell on Monday, it didn't show here. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got, man. I really can't focus. I'm sure there's probably something major that I'm missing. And my brain, so usually I can see through all this chaos and see stuff, but right now all these lines and trends is probably as annoying to me as it is to you guys. I'm sorry. Um, but even if I got rid of everything here, I'm so brain fogged, I probably wouldn't be able to find the proper levels and the proper trend lines. It took me a while to try and get my trading view even somewhat updated to Adam Mancini's charts, and it's not really that accurate. So, um, yeah, my brain fog makes me more sensitive to the constant noise of cars honking and the construction outside. Um, and I predict it's going to get busy later on today. Right now, um, everyone's in court, and they will be until probably another hour. And after that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get inundated with work, and I hope I don't have to type too much because I want this finger to heal. But anyways, let's just hypothetically assume that we're going to trade accordingly. So I have no idea where this is going to go. If it goes to 425, what was the 4247? What was the target? I wish I can just go straight to Adam Mancini's last tweet, but it won't do that. It'll take me home, and I've got to read 425560. So 4255 then 4275. So up yonder. Well, as it stands right now, I can probably only afford 425 on SPY. I'm going to assume there's going to be some theta decay since Friday, and this is going to open up maybe because right now all I have is 26 bucks in my account. I'm going to assume this is going to open in the mid 20s, and if we can get a little bit of a sell, this might drop, but I don't think that's going to happen. Knowing this market, when the bell rings, this will start to rally and then turn around and just chop to screw people over. I even see like a mini triangle forming here, but it's hard to identify. And it doesn't start off at a sharp point at all, but I guess it doesn't really have to, does it? Let's zoom back out. I want the bull flag on the screen. Maybe not all of it. Well, we're back now at demand. There it is. We made it right to demand zone or right to VWAP. And if I had gone long right at, well, I can't go long at the bell. But I guess I was wrong. It opened at 16. And the irony is, if I wanted to go long right now, I have to go long now. I can't get in at any more. So yeah, there it is. So it looks like my short idea wouldn't have worked. If I had this on SPY and I had drawn the demand, I probably could have put a buy-in because I can't see it on ES, obviously, because I'm not doing ES. If I had to put it on SPY and I could put a buy-in at where the demand zone was or just below it, and maybe I could have gotten in at 16, 17, something like that, and then sold at 28, 29, I guess, maybe. On a day like today, I wouldn't hate myself for selling early because one would expect chop after our rally. One would expect an unpredictable trading day. We've moved 12 points since Thursday morning. No, I take that back. Wednesday morning. Wow. I would have thought the confluence of the demand zone with the VWAP would have been a good spot for a push, but I guess not. So who would win here? Long Kevin or short Kevin? She already gave the answer. Demand's still holding for now. I mean, the candle just started, so. I suppose a logical strategy would be to wait until this first candle closes at 9:45, see if a demand is formed confluent to the previous demand, and then see if we get a retest of that demand on the next candle, and then take that long. That might make sense. In fact, technically speaking, I could have probably put my buy-in at 22 or something like that here, with the hope and expectation that the demand zone would still be honored, and then this will go up. Right now we're at 422 on SPY. Well, we also formed, I didn't even notice this, we formed a 30-minute demand on SPY as well. And of course that likely is on ES as well. Yeah. If I use the demand strategy, supply demand strategy, and traded here, put my buy in at like 22, 23, I'll need it to push a little bit higher and sell at 32, 33 though. It looks like it may do that. would have been very ideal to have been able to get in at this point here, but I've traded many times before, and when I do a market buy, they don't fill me sometimes until the very next candle or at the very top of the candle. I remember some few occasions where I put a limit buy. Um, I don't recall. I remember the only one I actually recall specifically was one day back in 2020. I was trading ADM. I forget what it's called. I'm so out of it. There's Nvidia, and then there's the other one, AMD. AMD. God, ADM. I was trading AMD. It opened in the morning. I didn't really know much about supply and demand, but it opened at some pattern or level that I had, and I put a limit buy, and they filled me. And I could have sold and made a little bit of money, like 30, $40, something like that, but I held it because I was hoping it would swing the very next day and make money, but of course that didn't happen. Um, I did a lot of swings back in 2020 and 2021, and very few of them helped me out. I remember actually I did a swing with, oh man, I forget who it was. Because I was one time looking at like 30 different stocks. Um, Man, who was it? I don't remember. It was one of those popular stocks I used to follow. And I bought like 3 or 4 options at like 40, $50. And the next day they moved from $50 to like $400. And I was so excited. Um, and when the market opened, it went down and I sold, and I shouldn't have, because it went down to a spot and then turned around and went back up. But anyways, most of my trades back then were garbage. Most of my trades right now are garbage. In fact, after I said that, a voice said, um, if you don't want garbage trades, you shouldn't be trading today, because today's like a terrible day in every possible measure to be trading. And yeah, it's true. Unless we retest unless we retest this weekly level, I really shouldn't be trading again. And I'm gonna put an alert here, by the way. Look at this alert way down here at 4136 that I put. That's not gonna be filled anytime soon. So yeah, I mean, heck, we could even possibly dip down and do a fake breakout and retest this bottom of this megaphone. We got the megaphone. We have the bull flag breakout. Good lord. I close my eyes and there's like this wave of stinging pain of relief going through my brain. Oh man, what is going on with me? It's sleep. It's gotta be. I can't get decent quality sleep, and it's building up in the brain. All right, yeah, I think I'm gonna back out. Um, if something significant happens, I'll come back. So it looked like we started to get a sell-off, and we broke down below the megaphone, and now we turned around and it looks like we're recovering. But we could very well reject at VWAP and previous demand. Um, I had one minor small short task to do, and I saw this happening and I considered jumping in, but no, no, this is a terrible day to trade. I said it last week, I'm only going to trade when we have major breakouts of levels, trends, whatever. And We've already had one from last week. We had three last week. Um, or was it two? Two last week. So yeah. Oh, interesting though. Just a note. Although this could be just completely random. Is on VIX where we're jetting off this level, which I think was support um on Friday. Yeah. So uh, so the court's ended, so the work has started. All right. All right. So yes, if I hypothetically did take this short this morning, this would have worked. Um, let's take a look. I doubt this would have moved enough so I can afford to take a short with my tiny account, but let's say I went short with where are we now on 420? Let's say I went short with a 419. Well, I guess I could have done 420. Nope, I couldn't. I couldn't afford 420. Let's go back to 419. So yeah, if I had gone short right at the bell, or let's say, well, I couldn't afford anything below 20s. It had to be 26. So here we go. If I put my buy in at 25, let's say I was so confident this was going to go short, I went in at 25 because that's the highest I could afford. Yes, I would be unhappy at this point, but holding on and waiting and being patient, um, was like it might reach 40, but I don't know. Now that we've gotten no, you know what? I would sell at the bull flag retest, so I would sell at 36. If I got in at 25, I would have sold at 36, 37. And that this move, here's the problem because I would have to get a option so far out of the money, and it's not that far. Let's be honest here. We opened at 422. 419 is not that far below. It isn't. If we dropped, say, down to this weekly level, we'll be almost at 419, but not quite there. So, but again, I'm using today's expiration. That's the problem. But even though I'm using odte, as you can see, I can still barely afford to enter into an option, even if it's only a couple points out of the money. So my options are limited here. But look, it's turning around. It looks like it was going to bounce at the bull flag, but it's not. But if I was big money and I went long with 10 options, so I went 10 at 25, so 250 bucks, I can sell 8 at 36 and make 80 bucks right there, and then hold on to the next two and see how far we can go. And maybe we'll go all the way down to 4221. And if that's being the case, then this might go to $45, $46. Then I can sell those last two at 46 and make an additional $80, right? No. Yeah. No. Stupid. Dumb brain again. $40. An additional $40 profit. So instead of making 100, I would have made 120. Whoop-de-doo. But still, it's something. And as far as VIX is concerned, it's possible that we may end up seeing, God bless it, we may end up seeing the top of this channel again. I don't know. Maybe. I would think no. And I just realized it looks like we made a level here um, overnight or on Monday. I'll just draw it now just in case. Was a good spot. I guess this is a good spot. I don't know why I like my yellow dashes on VIX, but I do. So, yeah, but you know what? Even if we do make it here, though, it'll be confluent to the channel, at least according to this chart. There we are, coming back above the bull flag again. So it's a very close test of 4221 though, which makes me wonder if I should switch back to a long, but the only long I could afford is, well, now I can afford the 424. Before I had to use 425. But look at this. Look at this. If I could have gotten in here, 30 all the way to 50. Yep. That'll be a nice scalp for the morning. I still always wanted to experiment with the possibility of going with I think it's a strangle or straddle. I always forget which one. As soon as the bell rings, and then whichever one goes into profits, I'll scalp that one. And then if it turns around and goes the other way, I can scalp the other one and make money in both directions. The problem is, if the market ends up really trending in one direction as opposed to the other, I'll have to cut loose the other one because it would be too big of a loss. I remember in 2021, I thought it was a brilliant genius. I was like, oh my God, all I have to do is just take a call option going one way and a short option going the other way, and I'll win either way as long as I have a tight stop loss. And I tried that several times and it burned me each time. It will literally go one way and hit the stop loss, and then immediately go the other way and hit the other stop loss. And then I end up losing money both. I end up losing money both ways more than I made money. And on those rare occasions where I made money in one direction, it would end up being canceled out by the money I lost in the other direction. So it never really moved strong enough in one direction for me for that plan to work. All right, so since this has invalidated this demand here, I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to remove the megaphone. That's no longer relevant. And yeah, we may end up testing 4221 exactly. Or we may end up testing it, having a fake bounce and dropping. I don't know. There's too many possibilities here. And this is why this is a bad day to trade. There's my alert. I want to see if my 419 hypothetical put would reach 40 yet. What? That's weird. We just made a new low. And still, okay, now there it is. There it is. Yeah. Yep. I was right. This would be a good day to take it short. Now let's say I wasn't broke or even hypothetically broke, and I had big money and I can go short at the money this morning. So the at the money was 422. So let's say we took 422 short at the bell or shortly after the bell. So let's say we put it at 100. So we bought 10 options at 100 for $1,000. Of course, we'll be unhappy here, but we were patient. We wait, and we wait till it gets to 4221 at Mancini's level, and let's say we put our sell at 75, 76. I don't know where it would be here if we hit it. I guess more realistically, let's say we decided 150, 151. I'd already hit 150 here. Okay, fine, 160. I'm trying to be conservative. 161. We just made 600 bucks, 50% profit off of well, technically 60% profits if we went in long short this morning. And if we scaled out instead, and we decided to scale out 8 options at 661, you know, I say 161, but it's still $60. That's 8 times 60. That's 480 bucks profit, right? 8 times 6 is, oh my God. I'm so stupid, man. I don't understand. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 48. Right? Good Lord, man. What the Yes. So 480 bucks, and then leave the next two options to run. And there, I've already made another $200 profit just on those two options there. Anyways, oh, and look on VIX, we're now almost at this level on the top of this channel. So yeah, a good short. And loss of 4221. Oh, well, I lost my chance to take that short. I have to, sorry, I'm gonna check something. So as you can see, we had what looked like a fake bounce at 4221. Bulls, at one point, this was a full green candle, pretty strong, that came all the way up. We broke past VWAP, and I thought this was going to continue rallying. And again, it's just such an unpredictable market unless you do scalps and you're very quick to take your profits. So it turned around and it went back up. It went from 4216, which was a low, to 4232. So I don't know, what is that, a 14 point, a 16 point jump? And quickly this thing turned back around and went back down. And you can see the put option here went from 90 almost to 201, 210. I mean, God, what is going on, brain? Work. I'm sorry, guys. And yeah, so if you decided to take this long, at, let's say, the recovery of 4221, you would have to sell very quickly, like at VWAP, maybe risk just slightly past VWAP. And if you were short, you would want to put your put at least above the opening bell or something, because look, you know, like our hypothetical, we got in at 100. So let's say we never sold. I mean, we would have sold by now. I mean, why would you not? If you got in at 100, like I said, it would be smart to sell at like 50 or 60 and lock in profits and then hold the last two. And I guess if you held the last two for 200, then you would have been filled and you would have gotten another 200 bucks of profit, 100 off of each option you left trailing. So, but if your stop was too tight, then you would have been filled. But 90's not that bad, actually, now that I think about it. It's interesting. Our bell was here, so yeah, we got as high as here. So this makes sense, yeah, with theta. So yeah, a very challenging day to trade, as I figured. But I mean, the day's still young, so bulls can still reclaim 4221. And if hypothetically today we end up rallying or getting to Adam Mancini's first target, it may happen like this. We may end up chopping sideways for a bit at or above 4221. That could be half an hour, or 15 minutes, I don't know. And we could form a demand, retest that demand, and pop. We're up, we go up and push forward. So that is possible. Still, I still think this is probably not a good day to trade, but let's take a look at VIX. If I can get my hands to control properly. Yeah, so once we made it to close to the top of this channel, and this channel, we didn't even touch it, and we already pushed back down. And look, and that one candle that we tried to break up, broke above VWAP, we actually almost made a new low below pre-market low, but didn't quite make it. So yeah, maybe we might retest. No, then we'll have to lose that our 4221. I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. But then again, VIX doesn't always follow directly with SPY anyway, so you can see now we're pushing down, and that means SPY should be going up. Yes, let's see. Yeah. So I guess now we gotta break back out of, oh look, I didn't realize this. I guess we've tested the bottom of the bull flag again. So yeah, I had said that we may possibly bounce a VWAP confluent to the previous demand that failed. We may bounce at the top of the bull flag that attempted and then failed. We may bounce at the weekly that didn't even happen. Um, and instead, it looked like for now we're bouncing off of the bottom of the bull flag. But now we have to break out of the bull flag again. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I had mentioned earlier that we may revisit that channel, upper channel on VIX. And yeah, right before I even started my video, we were approaching it. But as soon as I clicked record, um, we've now broken past it. Although I'm pretty sure if I look at a different chart, different time frame, we're still below it. Nope, above it there. Above it there. Wow. Oh, I just switched to the 115 and look. Channel? What channel? It's ridiculous. But yeah, this is a drop. So I would assume we'll be seeing a drop here on ES. Yes. Now we're retesting again the bottom of the bull flag that formed, but I have a feeling this is going to break. Adam and City did tweet, and I have not read it. This was a while ago, actually. He may be stating what the next level would be. Sorry, I can't navigate. I hate Twitter. Okay, my 4243 first target for this week in ES just hit again for test number 2. What? This was an hour ago. So this is 10:17. I don't know what Adam's talking about here. Unless he meant the second time it hit this morning at 8 o'clock. Anyways, 4243, 4221 equals chop range to set up 4255, 4275. To see any sort of healthy dip, 4221 must fail, which should start a good 20-30 point sell. Well, 4221 fails, and then we should get to 4200 at the minimum, right? So, but here's the problem. This is the frustrating thing about using options. I don't know how it is with futures, but if you decided to take it short after the fail of 4221, and let's say you decided to do it 8 points away, or let's say you want to see a retest of the level and a subsequent fail. So let's say you decide to go short here. This would be a good spot to go short here. Look, there's very little follow through. So if Adam and Cini's right, then we should continue to chop sideways for a bit longer. I don't know how much longer, and we're going to fall and fail below this bull flag, and we may retest 4204, maybe even this daily again, possibly. I don't know. But one would think that having broken through that channel on VIX, we would start to fall. But I guess we got to break through this channel break through the bull flag here for it to really start to make a move. Oh man, all right. This video is going to be long. I'm not making any trades. So. All right, quick update. It looks like we came down and bounced, and this is a pretty good bounce. It looks like at sorry for the last since Friday morning. This is the deltoid. Whatever. One of the muscles on my shoulder is spazzing, and it's been driving me insane. And I thought working out would stop it, but it has not stopped. So we bounced at this level. This trend, I believe, is one of the clones of the May low or the March low, whatever it is. That we had a few bounces. No, not auto arrange. Zoom back in, zoom back in. Adam Mancini did tweet shortly after my last video. I just want to update that. I hope this is, nope, this is not it. So I have to, no, there it is. 4243 to 4221 chop range today as posted, and ES certainly agrees, hitting 4243, then pinned to 4221 for hours. Standard trappy chop after 130-point rally. 4221 attempting to crack now. This was 26 minutes ago, by the way, so I mean, it cracked already. But anyways, 4205, then 4194, strong support. So we didn't quite make it to 4205, but we made it to 4209, and then popped back up again. Formed a demand that was retested and is currently forming a 30-minute demand on SPY. And we are now trying to re-enter into the channel that we broke out of on VIX. So this would be bullish if we can break back in here. Maybe this was just a little trap to get shorts going. So yeah, just a little update there. Last bit, bulls must reclaim 4221 to restart move up directly now. So let's see if there's any updates and any comments. One person asked, did you try a long on one of the failed breakdowns of 4221 this morning? I did, but got stopped out. Adam Mancini, I haven't had any trades since Thursday evening personally. Have just been running my long from 4147 and trailing my stops. Got taken out at 4218 this morning, so I'm on sidelines now. I gotta answer this call. Yeah, brother. Oh, sorry. Jamming to a playlist, and this is The Border from Sicario, I think. Anyways, check it out. We had what looked like a sell-off finally to Adam Mancini's 4205 target, but not quite there, 4207. We're now creating a demand. Let's take a look at VIX. We've flushed out of this level. Personally, I don't know. I don't know how much this applies to VIX as opposed to SPY and ES, but we've broken out of a pattern that's lasted several days. But then again, we broke out here as well. So we broke out of here, and this would have indicated a strong rally. We broke out of here, and this would indicate a strong sell, but who knows? So we made it to the hour, rejected, now we're forming a supply, which every indication says that this would be a good time to take this long. But it would make sense to only wait for this to reclaim 4212 again, and that may not happen. We'll have a while to go to regain that. First step would be to regain the bottom of the bull flag. So far they're doing that. They need to get past this trend, which I forget what that trend is, but I don't feel like zooming back to look at it again. And then again, 4221, they must reclaim that. And then they got to get out of the bull flag again, which as of right now is confluent with VWAP, so that's a lot of work for these guys. That's all I really see. I'm looking at SPY to see if I can see anything special, but everything's off. I mean, we bounced right here at this level. So if I didn't know already this was wrong, I might be thinking, oh look, we bounced at 4221 like Adam Mancini said, but this shows you how far off this level is now. The last time I typed this, marked this level, it was 4220, and we bounced actually at, well, I said it just a moment ago, 4207. So 13 points off is what this is. I'm not even going to bother to mark it anymore. Yeah. So it is interesting though. Maybe it's purely ironic that we bounce here, but whatever. So staying focused on ES instead, because at least we can trust the levels there. Yep, bulls are slowly grinding back up. I'm just gonna I'm not gonna take a trade. I'm just gonna show it. What was it I used earlier? That's interesting. Didn't I use 420 earlier? No, it wasn't 420. It was 425. But this is ODTE, so you know what? Let's just out of hypothetical. Let's look at 425 on Friday. I don't know where we would go if we go to Adam Mancini's target. Maybe we can sort of intimate it on, let's say 424. Let's see. No, I bet you it's so much money. I bet you it's not even worth even trying to stress my mind over it. Let's look at Wednesday's expiration. God bless it. So, oh no, Wednesday's tomorrow. So no, let's look at Friday's expiration. Friday is going to be, June 2nd. Maybe we look at Thursdays. Thursdays at 425. See? Can't afford it. Just 2 days away. Today's Tuesday, just 2 days away, and it's $50. I couldn't get in if I wanted to, but here's what I was thinking. If we had gone in long here, at the bounce here, or did we bounce at any level on ES? Yeah, 4205. So let's say we put in our buy-in. Well, if we did at 4205, it wouldn't have been filled. Let's say we decided to go in on a retest of this demand. I don't know if that's really going to happen. With 5 minutes, we'll know if this candle closes. It looks like it is. It looks like it's going to close as a demand, and we're forming a 30-minute demand on SPY. So let's say we form this demand at the close of this candle. That would be officially a 15 and 30-minute demand that would have formed. Let's say we come back down and retest it. And let's say hypothetically I have enough money to get in at $40. So this comes back down and tests 40. And I get in long 10 options. If we can have a sufficient bounce later on today, if this can make it from 40 to say 60, then I can exit 8 options, make $160 and leave a couple runners to see what'll happen. And maybe tomorrow we might end up getting higher or something. I don't know. But again, this is why it would be so much more preferable to trade futures, because once the market closes with options, I can't do anything until the market opens the next day. But with futures, if we do make it to our target, or if we do, let's say overnight let's say today we recover 4221, and before the market closes, we end up getting back to sort of close to where we were and before the market opened. And then the market closes, and overnight, let's say till maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, we make our way back up here again, and I can just put my sell limit at 4240 just to be cautious. I can sell some, lock in profits if we can push back up today, and then have the rest go ahead and hit. So anyways, I haven't had my smoothies, drinking it late. There was something else I wanted to mention here that I saw, but I can't really. Oh, I think interestingly on VIX, remember my last video, I was saying how it'll be good for bulls if we can break past here and go down. Well, they didn't. Rejected here, and then it went back up to reject against the hour. Sorry. Now, if bulls want to continue, they must break past this daily, and then they got to work their way back to here again, and they got to take some time to try and break through here again. So there's still a lot of work left for bulls, and for that reason, I would be trepidatious to go long. Oh man, I'm starving, and I remember on a video I think I made last week, I said that I had spent like over $100 or something, or close to $100 buying groceries, and I went 2 days in a row. So no, I think both days together is like $175, and I thought, okay, this has got to last me for the next couple of weeks. And frustratingly, on Saturday, I had to go to the grocery store again because I was out of certain essentials. And Um, and I ended up spending 75 bucks. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. Probably Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday. It was surprisingly empty, but I think it was a Memorial Day weekend. And oh man, I don't know. I would guess on average every month I spend about 400 bucks on food, groceries. And I've seen articles and videos of people who claim that they are able to feed a family of four, like two adults and two children, and they would only spend like 150, 200 bucks a month. And I'm just like, the only way you can possibly do that is if you're feeding yourself and your kids food. I know you heard that. This is like the third time so far this morning this moron upstairs has dropped something on the floor. It's starting to really irritate me. Unless you're feeding yourself and your kids spam from the cheapest product from Walmart and bread that should technically not be labeled as bread that costs $1.50 a loaf, I don't understand how anyone can survive off of 200 bucks a month as a single person, let alone as a family. But and the problem is there is a price to eating healthy. And I'm not talking about buying organic. I'm just talking buying fruit and vegetables, period. A box of strawberries is like $4, $3, and that's gonna last what, a few days? That's a small box of strawberries. I don't even do that. I don't buy fresh fruit, berries. I buy them frozen because they're cheaper. But a bag of frozen berries is probably gonna be about, I don't know. I mean, Aldi's they're like $7 at Aldi's, and Aldi's is supposed to be cheap. Whole Foods they're like mm, around $9. But like this smoothie, the oatmeal I use for this smoothie costs like 8.50. I mean, it comes in a large container that lasts me about 2 weeks, but 8.50. Again, the berries cost like $8, $9 for the bag, and I use maybe like a small handful. The banana is like, I don't know, 50 cents for the banana. The biggest expenditure here is the milk because the milk I buy, which is good quality milk, is like $10 for the gallon. And I've said it before, I don't even fill this up with milk. I fill it like maybe part way and I put water the rest of the way to water it down to make it last longer. So a gallon of milk usually lasts me about 5 days, maybe like 4 days. And I also use it for my smoothie later on at night. I make a veggie fruit smoothie. Um, I put I put almonds in here. No, walnuts, not almonds, walnuts, and a small bag like it can probably um maybe half a cup, maybe like a cup and a half of walnuts is like $10. And I don't buy organic walnuts; they're just regular bag of walnuts. Um, and that will last me maybe about a week because I put like a small handful, not a handful, I think like a palmful. I would say technically speaking, like maybe a tablespoonful of walnuts. Um, God, stop saying walnuts, almonds. It's almonds. No, it's walnuts. I forget which one. I think they're walnuts that I use. And I also use pumpkin seeds. They're high in magnesium, very healthy because magnesium's hard to get. And I buy a small bag, it's probably worth about $5, and I put like again like a teaspoon of um the sunflower seeds. No, not sunflower. Sunflower? No, not sunflower seeds. I'm sorry, guys. Pumpkin seeds. That's it. Pumpkin seeds. Those are high in magnesium, unsalted. Uh, and then Greek yogurt. I put some Greek yogurt in here, and the container of Greek yogurt will probably run you between $5 to $9, depending on what you get. So yeah, I use Greek yogurt and peanut butter. I use the Whole Foods peanut butter. Again, not organic, just regular peanut butter. And a container of peanut butter is at least $6, small container. So I use about a tablespoon of that. Milk, water, blend it, and that's basically it. I like putting the maca powder in here, but I order the maca powder from Amazon, and Amazon is, as I've said before, has just gone downhill. So the one I normally get, it's subscribed, so it should come once every 2 months. And the one I was getting was like 15 bucks. And then I switched to another one because for some reason they wouldn't even let me know if it's not available or not. They just wouldn't send it to me. So I switched to another one, and that one is a smaller container, but $10. And yeah, I put like a teaspoon of maca powder in here, and hopefully the bag will last me the whole month, but usually it doesn't. So yeah, you add it all up, this is like an $8 smoothie. And I have the smoothie every morning. This is my breakfast most mornings. So yeah, anyways, I'll go ahead and chug this smoothie. I'll come back if something changes. All right, quick tweet from Adam Mancini. Slow, messy action in ES. Um, no, sorry. Slow, messy action as ES cools off after its 103-point rally last week. 1 hour RSI 5. I don't know what that means. The parentheses 5 is already back oversold. 4221 was key support as opposed to this morning and failed. 4205, 2 points off so far. And this tweet is exactly, I don't know. Twitter doesn't want to say how long ago it was. Oh, it happened at 109. So yeah, this tweet just came in. Bulls must reclaim 4221 to resume. So I'm sorry, this is nothing really new here. So hold on one second. I know it doesn't come out very clear on the speaker here, but remember I'm only using the speaker from the laptop, which is not very good quality, and it's being drowned out by the fan of the laptop as well. And it's sitting on my desk, and the piece of garbage neighbor upstairs seems to like to drop something that sounds like something metallic on the floor whenever I'm speaking. And that would be the 5th time or the 4th time so far today that they've dropped something heavy on the floor. I forgot what I was saying before. You know what? Did I read this already? I'm sorry, guys. No. I was reading the comment that was made earlier, and I'm like, I saw that already. Yeah, I did read the current tweet. Okay, good. I don't know why this, unless I accidentally hit the other comment and it became large on the screen. Anyways, yeah, so we got our bounce, but seemingly off of 4206. We created the demand. This could be the point where we retest the demand. But the next level down, actually, Adam Mancini keeps mentioning is the more strong level. I think he says it's 4194. And that's where I have a daily. This is the much stronger level, so if we go down here, this would be a better spot to go long. So maybe I should have put my buy in here. I'm gonna put it, is this, no. Oh my god, dude. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna not lose my patience. It's the daily, and it's here. I'm looking at this. I'm wondering if this is a demand, so I'm trying to zoom in and see. But when I zoom in, okay, here it is. Yes, this is a demand confluent with one of the Malo trends. Okay. Okay. What? What is this? Oh my god, I hate Thinkorswim so much. Alright, that demand was formed here. No, this is what I'm looking at. This right here. This is what I want. Create an alert. Just there. Just, no, not above. Oh my god, dude. I hate Thinkorswim so much. Okay, I think, I don't know. Every time I zoom in, it just, it completely screws up where you know what? I'll just do it little by little. That's the only way I can do it. So here, no, here. Here's where I want it, right above the daily. So this is the demand that was formed. So that could be our strong spot for a retest. And once again, we're off. I wonder if I should take off this bull flag now. I'll just leave it there for now. Yeah, we'll wait for this to come down here if we're gonna ever go long. But I mean, still, this still defies my conviction to only trade pattern breaks now. But I don't know. I'll have to see how clean of a demand is formed if it gets retested. Just see how the market feels. But it would be ideal if we can slowly grind back down here. Create some bullish signals, create a demand zone, retest, and then come back up. And if we can see something similarly bullish on VIX, which I don't see anything bullish on VIX, we created a supply, yes, but now we create another demand and we're going back up. Then maybe taking this long with an expiration a couple days ahead. But again, the point of taking the option a couple days out instead of an odte is that I can lock in profits that same day. So I don't want to take a swing. No, you know what? Oh, God bless it. It doesn't make a difference because I don't have enough money to take multiple options anyways. So I wonder if it's even worth me looking to take trades 2 or 3 days out in advance. No, I need to just stick with the original plan. I need to do odte options on pattern breaks where there's a clear trend about to form or has formed. Otherwise, there's no real point in me even trading. It's basically just gambling, hoping that I might get a scalp one way or the other. And yeah, maybe I might make $10, but the problem is I can just, in the same token, end up losing like $3, $4, $5. And then that'll happen again and again and again. And I'll just eat away at my account. Either way, here it is. We have a demand formed. It looks like we're getting a retest. And if I wanted to do odte, I can't do I'll have to choose. Look, the only one I can afford is 422. Sadly, that's all I can afford. You see the big gap between the two of them, 40 and 15. That's theta decay. That's just a huge difference. Maybe I could have gotten to 4.2. No, it would need to go a little bit lower for me to get into 4.221. The only way I can do 4.221 is if this continues to chop sideways. Theta eats away at the premium. It comes back down and retests something below 26. So watch this. I'm going to put an alert at 26. If we chop sideways long enough, then I can get in at 25 because that's the cheapest I can afford. And one would have to hope that towards the end of the day, it starts to rally because I have this at 422 or 421. We are currently at 420. So this will need to reclaim 4221 today and get above VWAP and break out of this bull flag today. That's the only way I could take advantage of that move. And that's highly unlikely. I think, but again, I'm wrong. My market experience is not very great, that bulls will want to reclaim 4221 by the close of the day, but that could take a while. Anyways. All right, check it out. That retest failed. Here was the possible retest. Last time I made the video, this was coming up and rejected off of this trend, popped back down. This trend didn't save it, and we 4205 didn't save it. We had a spike just below 4204 to 4202, created a new demand, not the strongest looking one, and now once again we're trying to struggle back up. So looking at that on the inverse from the VIX, we rejected off of this hour, formed the demand, which here is a supply. We did the retest, but the retest failed and fell. So now we broke past this 1 hour. This level looked like it was going to hold, but we dropped to this daily I have here and turned around, and now we formed a sloppy supply here. So this could be it, because this is where we turned around on Friday. Again, it's strange that VIX was going up even though ES and SPY was still kind of slowly grinding up and rallying on Friday, but look where we rejected. I don't know though. We still could go lower. We could still go low, but this might be the spot where it turns around. So yeah, that's really all I have to add. And I don't think there's going to be much happening the rest of the day, and I'm going to hold strong to what I said before. I'm not going to take any trades. It's funny. I was talking to my friend, who's called me a couple times. He's current law enforcement, and I was law enforcement before he became law enforcement. And yeah, man, I think of this guy like a brother. And we were just having a discussion about me renting my place out to a guy, and he and I were thinking about it. We're like, if I was down on my luck and I was struggling financially, and I couldn't afford to rent out a room, would I be willing to rent out a shared space, like a shared studio with another guy? And he and I both were like, nah, man. I was saying I would rather go live with a family member. I would rather, see if I can pay that money to a friend. Like he has a 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartment, and he's actually offered, bro, if you want, you could stay in my place, sleep on the couch. You know, I would rather do that. I would rather sleep at a family's place, sleep on the couch, or a last ditch scenario, I suppose, try and get homeless shelter. But most of those homeless shelters don't let a young, strong guy in, or if you look young, they only want to let women and children in, or elderly. But I guess my point is if you have, I don't know, I don't know, but we were both saying that we would definitely not want to do it, and we're trying to determine what would make a guy want to do that, to want to sleep in basically share a room with another guy who's a stranger. And I was thinking pure desperation, like financial desperation, but my friend said they probably play for the other team. I mean, the only kind of guy that would be comfortable doing something like that, other who's not in a desperate situation, is a guy who wants to be in close proximity to another guy, and I don't want to be with a guy who wants to be in close proximity with another guy. And and he spoke about some situation that happened to him, but I'm going to tell this story really quick. I'll see if I can make it very quick. When I was a cop, near our station was a Starbucks, and my friend, this is before he became a cop, and he was in his like early 20s, and I was like in my late 20s, and you gotta remember this is like 2001, 2002. I know Starbucks was out before 2000, but it started to get really popular back then. I'm talking like super popular. This Starbucks, it could be like a weekday. It could be Tuesday at 8:30. It could be Tuesday at 8:30, and there'll be a line of people outside the Starbucks to get coffee. Inside the store, every seat is packed, every seat is filled, and the building, because the building housed many, like a dozen different stores, but there was a gap between this building and the next building, a small gap, you know, not too small, but how do I put it? It was a large enough gap that there were also tables outside for Starbucks patrons, and these tables, there was like maybe about 10 tables, those round tables with chairs, and you can seat easily like 30, 40 people out there. And there's also a bench, like where somebody can sit down, like a concrete bench. So the store was not small. There's plenty of space inside. But again, it could be 8, 9 o'clock on a weekday night, and this place is packed, packed. So this place was super popular. And again, I'm in my 20s, and my friend would ask me to come hang out at the Starbucks, and it'll be a quiet night. There's no major calls. My reports are done. You know what? Even if I had reports to do, like if I had to do a 17, I'm sorry, an accident report, I would just take my clipboard, because back then we didn't have the computers, and we had to draw a diagram of the road and the accidents, everything. Now I'm dating myself, and yeah, so we would do that. We would hang out at Starbucks, and there was always gorgeous girls at this Starbucks, man. It was like we called it Club SB. It was super popular. However, there were some workers there that weren't nice to us, and some that were. And one of them was a guy who plays for the other team. And I know this sounds really mean, but if you look at him physically, the way his head was shaped, you would think this guy has Delta Sierra, Delta Sierra, DS. I'm just gonna say the acronym. It's a genetic disease, and it starts with a D, and it starts with a D. It has two words that start with D and S. I'm just gonna say that, and that's how he looked physically, but he wasn't like that. Just a normal guy, but he played for the team. And at first, I thought this guy was nice. He was cool. He was very nice towards me, but he would make at first um, show subtle interest, and then sometimes they're not so subtle. I forgot how he got my number, but he got my number from someone. And there was also a girl that worked at the Starbucks that I actually went to high school and high school with, and I was in love with this girl. I don't know why. Now as I'm older, I think of her face, and I'm, whatever. And she did not age well at all. But she came from a wealthy family, and she's looks Hawaiianish, I guess, whatever. But I love Asian women. She has a little bit of Asian features, and she worked at this Starbucks. So this guy would use her as a way to get to me. He would make it seem like he was going to try and help me um, hook up with her or something. But his real goal was to try and get with me. And one day he called me and asked me if I wanted to go with him to some club or party or something, whatever. And I politely turned him down. And another day he sat at the table and started to start conversating with me. And I just remember in the conversation he had said to me, because he caught me looking at a girl. And again, I've shown um, pictures of the kind of ideal physique I go for. And I think her name is Riley McCullister or something. And Jade Carey, the gymnast physique, the Asian girl, white girl gymnast physique is the thick legs, muscular legs, the petite feet, the cute face. That's my kryptonite. That's what I go for. So he saw me looking at a girl who I guess had that physique, the booty and whatever, and he looks at her and looks at me and smiles and says, you should see me in drag. I bet you would think I'm hot. I was there doing. I was either no, I don't think I was in uniform. I think I was out of uniform, but I was just hanging out there. It was like a Saturday or something like that. No, I wouldn't have had Saturday off. It was probably a weekday. Because when you're a cop, you don't get weekends off unless you got seniority. Um, and I politely excused myself from the table after that comment. So I don't know. Fast forward months down the road, and I was not having a good day. It was a very busy day, and I was definitely on duty. I was wearing my uniform, and I walked into the Starbucks, and it was for a call. It wasn't just me stopping by just to hang out or whatever. I was actually on an official call, and it was a serious call. I don't know if we are looking for a suspect or whatever it was, and it was me there with another officer, and we're talking, trying to figure out, hey, what area did you check? What am I looking for? Whatever. I forgot what the discussion was for, but it was an important discussion. And suddenly I felt someone wrap their arms around me from behind, put their head on my shoulder, and whisper, "Hi, Kevin," or officer, or whatever. I don't know what he said. I genuinely thought this was a girl that I know, and I turned around to see the freaking big round head of this guy. John is his name. And I was like, what the? And again, the place was packed. This was like a weekend night or something. It was one of the most packed nights that it was as packed as it can be packed. And I thought to myself, people are going to see this guy doing this, hugging me from behind while I'm in uniform, and people are going to talk. And generally, I don't give a damn what people think, but if people's conversations can have reverberations on my reputation and my work or whatever, that's a problem to me. And God, look at this thing, just keeps grinding down, man. Today was definitely a day to take this bad boy short. And I approached him later on, shortly after he did that, and I told him pretty sternly, don't ever do that again. And from now on, when you see me in uniform, you treat me as any other officer in uniform. You don't come up to me and hug me or do any of this stuff. That's inappropriate. So this apparently offended him. He was pissed that I had the temerity to ask him to treat me with some measure of professionalism when I'm in uniform. So what does this jerk do? Well, fast forward a few months later, maybe a month or two later, and I get one of my sergeants who was a complete jerk. I couldn't stand this guy. He didn't look like he was tough in any way, measure, or form, but he acted like he was. Because there's guys who, once they put on the uniform, they think they're supermen. And he says to me that they've gotten multiple complaints, the department's gotten multiple complaints from workers, plural, from the Starbucks of me going there and being rude to them and causing problems, being rude to customers. And because this has happened multiple times, he banned me from going to the Starbucks. Now, I was young. I didn't really realize back then, and we didn't have really a good union. I didn't realize that he couldn't do that, that what he was doing was technically illegal. You can't, as my sergeant, ban me from going to a store, especially not without any solid evidence of me doing, something wrong. So I just stopped going because I was not liked in this department. It was a racist department, and there was all kinds of issues going on there. It was very shady to work there. And even though I wasn't going there, the complaints still came. And he one time took me to the side and started, chewing me out. And I said to him, "Hey, listen, I'm getting tired of you complaining to me about things that I did when I told you I didn't do it. I wasn't there. I haven't gone there. So I'm not interested in any more of these complaints. Unless you have some actual proof of what's going on." And I actually told him, I said, "You know what? I I should be able to go there. I can be able to go wherever I want, on or off duty, without your permission. You don't control where I can and can't go. But I haven't gone there because I wanted to prove a point. But apparently you don't want to believe me." I was pissed. The only thing that saved me is that I ended up getting a call at the parking lot of the Starbucks, not in the store, at the parking lot. Two people had apparently gotten into an accident and pulled off the main road into the Starbucks parking lot and got into a fist fight. And one of the employee, not no, actually not the employee. It was someone from just an innocent by not innocent by it was a citizen called, not an employee, but just a regular citizen called about the fight. So I got there on scene. The guys thankfully calmed down. Neither wanted to press charges on themselves, but I ended up staying outside in the parking lot writing my report. What does this guy do? He calls to complain that I was in the store harassing him, right? So one of the dispatchers, one of the few people in the department that actually liked me and was friendly and did things to help me. And when you call the station, it's a recorded line, especially if you call to make a complaint on an officer. So she asked this guy for full details. Oh, what's his name? What is he doing right now? And okay, so just to be sure, the time now is 8:45, and you're saying that he's inside the store and he's harassing you right now. Okay, no problem, sir. I'm going to tell the sergeant. So she recorded the conversation, and she raised me on the radio and said, please identify what you're doing and where you are. And he told me. So she sent the sergeant over to check on me, and he did. And she recorded and gave him the message of this guy complaining that I was inside. So the sergeant went inside and spoke to a couple of the other employees. Thankfully, one of the employees, which actually is a guy who plays for the team, but I love this guy. He never was cliche about his behavior. I would never have known that he plays for the team because I don't need to. It's his business. And he never made any kind of inappropriate approaches towards me, which to me, I think is how you should behave. You have a right to be whatever you want to be and like whoever you want to like. But if you have this need to show it off all the time, pretend like you're something that you're not, and um, sort of force your ideals on somebody. So if you like somebody and they don't like you, who are you to get pissed about that? You don't, just because you want this guy doesn't give you the right to have him, is what I'm trying to say. So the sergeant went inside, talked to a couple of the employees, and one of them, who again plays for the team, but he happens to be an assistant manager, and he said, no, this officer has not come into the store the entire time he's been out in this patrol car this whole time. He's never been in the store once. Now, here's the thing. There is a law about making a false report, but I don't know if there's a law about making a false complaint, and there should be. And I've gotten so many as an officer. If you call the police and you want to make a complaint on an officer and it's a bogus complaint, you're a piece of garbage because you're risking that guy's career, the means by which he can put food on his table and a roof over and keep a roof over his head. And this little trash piece of garbage boy who was about the same age as me, same age as me, period, makes these false complaints, and there was no repercussions for it. The sergeant, to his credit, brought me to the side later on that day. My shift was almost over, apologized, told me that what happened and whatever. And the dispatcher, thank goodness, she took the extra effort to do this for me, because if she didn't, who knows what would have happened. But it just shows you just how shady people are, you know? And I think years later, I'm talking like 3 or 4 years later, the same guy moved to Texas. And I remember he sent me a message on Facebook apologizing for what he had done and how he felt bad, and wanted me to add him on Facebook. I blocked him. Because it's not a matter of forgiveness. It's just, fool me once, that kind of situation. I didn't want to have anything to do with that guy. You that you don't risk someone's career. I mean, that's just beyond petty. And yeah, and I've had similar stories like that even after I stopped being a cop. And before I used to be a bartender at a Red Lobster, and the manager was one of those guys who plays for the team, and I couldn't stand that guy. I could not stand him. He one time one I know I'm full of stories, but um there's an ice bin, right? Between, doesn't matter where it is, but there's an ice bin, and I use the ice for my drinks when I was making, because I'm a bartender. But on the other side, the ice bin can be accessed from two sides, and the other side, waitresses can use the ice bin to put ice when they get their beer, because they'll send the order to me, and I'll take the beer and I'll put it on um the counter, and it's their job to get a glass and put ice in it. Or if customers want more ice, they'll take the glass and put ice in it. Um, I thought it was bad that the ice was just sitting there in a bin exposed, because dust, spit, whatever can just land on the ice. But hey, I didn't own the store. But above the ice bin was I forget, like a little hook so you can use it as a bottle opener. And some of these idiot waitresses were so aggressive when they would open the bottle that they would break the bottle, and glass would fall into the ice bin. And this one waitress did that, but it was with a Zima bottle or some bottle that was clear. It wasn't dark. It was a transparent bottle, and she broke it. And I told her, look, what are you doing? You need to let someone know so they can take this ice out and we can get new ice. And she basically gave me the finger and walked off. And I let this manager know, manager plays for the team, and he didn't listen to me. So sure enough, a customer ended up getting glass stuck in their throat. And later on that night, I told him, and I said, hey, look, I told your waitress to clean it, but she didn't want to do it. Your waitresses, and that's his job. He was the manager of the waitresses, or the servers. I had my own manager who was in charge of the bar and the kitchen staff. That's how it worked. And he goes, first of all, they're not my waitresses or servers. They're yours too. I'm like, dude, you know what I'm talking about. And he completely disregarded the fact that a customer could have been hurt or killed by drinking glass because the waitresses broke glass into the bin and was too lazy to fix it, do anything about it. And he didn't want to chastise them for it. Actually, I ended up getting fired from that Red Lobster because I was in charge of the cashier. I had the key to the cashier, but usually there was two or three bartenders, and there was only one key. And I was working with this woman who plays for the other team, who acts like she's a man, and she asked me for the key, and she took the key, and goes in and out the cashier to help customers that make payments and whatever, whatever. And unbeknownst to me, for a while she was stealing money, and I got called in the back office, and somehow I got blamed for it. I mean, they have a camera, but they blame me for it. And then between that and the issues I'm having with the bartender, the manager and the waitresses, this other manager is like, you know what, this isn't working out. But the irony is, I was about to start police academy anyways, so I was gonna quit anyways. So when he was about to say, he's like, Kevin, I'm sorry, but this isn't really work. I said, no, 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 don't worry, don't finish your thought. Took off the shirt, put it down, like, I'm done, I'm out of here. Gladly quit, gladly. And the irony is, I went back there later on and I had it out with one of the managers, and they admitted, reluctantly, but they admitted that the um, chick that I was working with, the one who plays for the team, they discovered that she was the one who was actually stealing this whole time because they checked the camera. And I said, it's funny, you could have checked the camera when I was working there, but you didn't. Instead, you just assumed it was me and fired me or tried to fire me, or I got written up. That's what it was. I didn't get fired, I got written up. I mean, she got written up too, but just check the camera. Look, take the time to make an effort instead of blaming both parties just because it's easier to do. So yeah, lazy, incompetent management. I've been used to that all my life. But yeah. And the most recent one, I remember I had a client, um, and he would always make little subtle remarks. I mean, he was a nice guy, but um, there was a professor, a black guy, that worked for the University of Miami, and he would come into this gym that I used to train my clients and whatever at this gym, and he was ill. I hadn't seen him in a while, and he walked up to me. I think it's called, you give them dibs or something. You take their hand, you pull the hand to the chest, and you put one arm over, and you just like a I guess you can call it a manly hug. Um, and after I did that, he's like, "Yo, what's good, man? I haven't seen you in a while." And we just talked for a little bit, and the client was resting between sets. Um, I wasn't being unprofessional. This conversation only lasted about 20 seconds, and then the client just kept saying, "I hate you. I hate you. Because you never hug me. Every time I want to hug, you won't hug me." And I just smiled and I laughed. I'm like, what are you talking about? But he was saying this loudly in front of everyone else in the gym. And I don't know. I don't get the mentality. I just don't. And what I've noticed about this culture is that if I was a female and a straight man was treating me this way or behaving in these kind of ways towards me, society would be like, no, 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 that's absolutely inappropriate. That shouldn't happen. Should not happen. But if a male does it to another male, then it's kind of just funny to some people. And if the guy gets upset or doesn't like it, he's being overreactive or he's being, you know, something phobic. I don't know. So yeah, I'm rescinding my idea about renting it out to another guy. um, I don't get it. I really don't. But here's the thing, like I had a woman message me over the weekend, and she doesn't know any English, was all in Spanish. I'm trying my best to translate this, and she's like, I'm interested in a room, and I told her it's not a room, it's a studio you share, just like the goddamn title says. And she goes, well, aren't you concerned about sharing the space with other women? And I'm like, why would I be concerned? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna try and force yourself on me? I don't understand the logic, man. I really don't. And she kept asking, saying, "Oh, I'm this years old. I work at this time to this time. I would love the place." Da, 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 da. And I said, "Okay, I did promise someone else the place, but she won't be here until August, maybe the end of July. So if you want, you can move in before then. And if things work out between us, if it turns out I like you, then I'll tell her I found someone else to stay." And then she doesn't respond. And then I reply back, "In any case, let me know if you're still interested when you would want to come by and take a look at the studio before moving in." No response. I don't understand people. I really don't. Um, but anyways, again, I'm on a long vent again. I made this video longer than it should be. But look, we're we're still rejecting off of this daily from before. In fact, I have a pretty strong feeling this is going to be our rejection. I know Adam Mancini says that 4194 was a strong spot where we could possibly bounce, but it may be that we end up bouncing here. I want to see the reaction when we come back up to the top of the bull flag and see if we reject like we did here. But I have a feeling that we may not recover I don't think we'll recover 421 today, but we may at least stall the sell for now. Is it possible that we can bear flag overnight and fall further? Yeah, that's a possibility too. So I don't know. We'll have to see. What did I just do? Did I move something? I don't know. Well, anyways, a demand was formed. A demand was retested, but I mean, that happened here and happened here and happened here. So I'm not taking this long. I mean, we formed a supply here, and then again here. Well, only this is the second supply, so this might be the one that's going to be legit. So this could be the pivot point for now. But yeah, either way, I think this is Thursday's expiration at 26 426 strike. Thursday, yeah, this is Thursday expiration. So I could afford to jump in here if this is actually the pivot point, and it's going to take more than a couple days to finally come around. But this will be my entire account almost, so it's not going to happen. Plus, for me to make any real, all right, like for example, let's say I took this at 21, or let's say I jump in now at 22, right? For me to profit today off of this thing and get like just $10, for this to get up to 32, or better yet 33 to pay for the commission, for this to get to 33, I would say ES would have to recover, especially at this time of day. And again, this is the 426 strike, yeah. ES would have to recover, I would say at the very minimum, the bull flag. So to get past this trend, I don't know how much of a resistance. This is not even a level right here. I should get rid of this. I'm gonna hold it for now and see the reaction here. If we blow right through it, it's gone. If we reject from it, I'll keep it. But either way, we can reject here at this trend, and we can reject here at the bull flag. And it would need to recover over the bull flag, I would think, for this to get to 33. Probably even higher. Probably even up to VWAP. I don't know. Because again, theta is going to be an issue. No, it's not going to be an issue. Stupid. This is Thursday's expiration, so theta won't be that big of an issue. So yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not doing it, but let's hypothetically say we took a trade here at 22. We got in at 22. The volume, the other downside again to choosing a non-ODTE option is that you have less volume. So that's a problem. But anyways, let's say I got in at 20. I mean, I'm just buying one option. So let's say I got in at 22, and let's see how the rest of this day plays out. But I don't think this is gonna rally high enough for this to make it to 33. but I could be wrong. We'll see. Oh, well, it looks like my gut feeling was right. This was the pivot point, and it started pushing as soon as I stopped the video. So if I had hypothetically gotten in at 22, we ended up blasting. I'm taking this off, by the way. We ended up blasting past the this trend here, and we're about to push into, there it is. Unfortunately, if it loses momentum, that's not going to be good if we were in the option, but it made it to 30. It made it to 30. So if we have our sell at 33, if we got into 22 in the hopes of making 10 bucks, if it can at least make it to this this trend, it could hit 32. But to be honest, if I did take the trade, I probably would just sell it now and take my 8 bucks. So yeah, I probably should have taken it. But I did say I wasn't going to take any trades today. I made a playlist on Spotify called The Call of Valhalla, and I put some Viking songs on there, and I knew my friend would like it. So he's jamming it on the way to work because we have similar taste. So yeah, man, I was right. This felt like the pivot point. I couldn't really identify why, but it did feel like it. Let's take a look at what's going on VIX right now. Yep, strong rejection here from the daily, which again was the rejection from before on Friday. Now, if I was long, I would definitely want to sell, especially once we approach this daily right here. Or if I was in multiple positions, I would scale out here. But it looks like we're not going to quite make it to 33, 32. But again, if I had gone long 10 options at 22 here, 220, I would exit at 30. Why not? I mean, it's $8 per option. If you get rid of all 10, you've got $80 and whatever. Making money in this market on a scalp is fairly decent. I don't know why it's pausing like this. Maybe my connection's always iffy. Yeah, this is weird. Look, nothing. No input. There it goes. Yeah, I've said it before. Anytime it does that, it sort of pauses and just stays stuck in one line. I get worried because then it's going to pop one way or the other. But I still think we're going to break past this. I believe we're going to get at least to VWAP or the top of the bull flag. So yeah, maybe holding out for 32, 33 might be worth it, but I don't know. Now, the question is, what would have happened if we chose an odte option? And where are we on SPY? It would need to choose like 420 odte or 421. So let's try 420. Look at that. See? That is the beauty about odtes is that, and look, we could have gotten in here at 25. So we're here talking about, see, and this is the frustrating thing about options is which one do you pick? The odte or the other one? So if I had gotten in at the retest of this demand and an odte, today's option at 420, I could have gotten in here. I forgot when it was in my last video I was talking about it, but let's see, this candle started at 14.15. So yeah, I would have to get in as soon as this candle started. I would have to get in. But if I could have at 26, 25, 25 would be the lowest I could have gotten in. If I could have gotten in here, look at that. 25, and we can set our sell at 75. That would have been a beautiful, beautiful trade. But let's go back to our original one. That was Thursday, June 1st at 426. Yeah, looks like we finally got to 32. It was like one person bought it at 32. So, and that's the downsides to choosing an option that's further out in the money. and further out in expiration. And I remember this guy K-Pax, when I was following him, he would choose an option that's like a month out. And he loved shorting. So he would choose an option that's a month out, like 10, 15 strikes out of the money. And when I would take a look at the option chart, there's like no volume. No one's buying this. And I just couldn't understand how he was pulling it off because he wasn't getting 1, 2, 3 options. He was buying like 100 lots. I think that's what they're called. So 100, 200, 300 options. But I also don't think he was using Thinkorswim. I don't know if it really matters. But yeah, I should have, if I had followed my gut and taken a 420 strike, ODTE, that would have been a good trade. And the key thing for me was what I showed on VIX. This daily was the rejection point from last Friday. So yeah. Damn. Let's see what Adam Mancini tweeted. It was a while ago though, I'm sorry. And this video is already 2 hours long, I know, sorry. Damn, everyone's talking about NVIDIA. I'm trying to not focus on that stuff. I don't even follow these people, but of course, Twitter. Okay, this was 37 minutes ago. So, was it around this time? A little bit before this dip. Post-rally cool-off continues in ES, and 4205 first target down just hit. Bulls had to hold 4221 to keep steep rally going direct, and it failed this morning as posted, triggering a healthy dip. But again, we dropped below 4205 and then recovered. I don't know if this is what's considered a false breakout, but we definitely formed a 30-minute demand on SPY and a 15-minute that was retested here. Although we formed a 30-minute demand earlier on SPY, and that failed when it got retested. So the confluence to take this long, and again, it's always hindsight 2020, but we formed a demand was retested. But importantly, we also formed a supply was retested. That supply was formed at an important level that was tested on Friday and rejected. And on ES, this was the rally point for Friday's sort of mini chop rally. I don't know if you can call it. Let's see, let me zoom in on Friday. The market opened here. So this would be a decent spot to retest. This is where we started flagging right here. I don't know. I mean, I'm talking crap. I don't know if that really makes sense. I can't articulate it very well, and that probably means I don't really understand it, but I just had a feeling this was going to be the pivot point. I just wish I had thought to take it with, I didn't think it was going to push this much, but I should have considered the possibility that taking an ODTE would be the way to go. This would have been a wonderful trade right here, without a doubt. We are now officially in the money at 420, because we're now at 420.5 on SPY. So yeah, if this can push even higher to 421, then this is going to be worth like 120. So yeah, this would have been an absolutely good trade to take. Whatever, I missed it. What can I do? Alright, one last update, and here we go. We peaked up almost to 120. Every time I'm determined not to trade, and I say I won't trade, the market makes pretty decent moves. I'm trying to think why I had a mental block that it didn't even occur to me to take this long with today's expiration, but the only answer I can come up with is that I was determined to believe, or I convinced myself, that we simply would not make it back up to VWAP or to 4221. But here we are, 4221 and VWAP are both confluent. If we're gonna go up and get reject somewhere, that would be the spot. And that would be a long, I mean, look as we moved from 4200. I just realized this too. God, we bounced at exactly 4200, almost to the penny. So this is a 20-point rise. And if you choose the right strike, and 420 was the perfect strike, this is a great move. Oh man. I'm just imagining if I had been able to get in here at 25, and if I had set my sell at VWAP so that I can make what is really here a $90 trade, I could almost be back to where I was before I took money out of my account and started having a series of trash trades. That being said, this is a key point for bulls now. They can probably afford to have it reject and have it chop sideways until the market closes, but it would be in their best interest to regain 4221 before the market closes. But they don't have to do anything. They can do whatever they want to do. So yeah, that was a big missed opportunity. Oh well. Okay, market closed, and last video for this, what's going to be potentially a very long video for today, considering I made 0 trades. I'm sorry about that, but I don't want to feel compelled to trade, you know? I still want to give commentary on the market, and it turns out we made it to VWAP after all, which is confluent to 4221, which was the resistance level, and we started to sell off from there after forming a supply, but that sell-off didn't really last very long. I was hoping for a retest of the demand zone to possibly take it again long. We had this, you see this doji candle with this long wick, this quick drop down with a quick recovery around 1445. And I don't know, it's weird because let's see this candle. So 16 up until 1600, somehow this became this. So I guess the recovery was here right before the market closed, and then we had this candle here at 1600, which will be the last candle you can trade, where we had a little bit of a rise. So what I was hoping is that we can dip down here, but I wasn't paying that much attention after this, once I saw this, because I thought, okay, well, I guess the sell-off is not going to be bringing us back down to the original demand. And even if I was doing a 30-minute demand, it still wouldn't make it back, excuse me, into the zone. But it's unfortunate because if I could have gotten in a couple options here at 10 and sold at 20 or 30, that would have been a good trade as well. So yeah, you know, I don't know. What are you going to do? It was a good sell-off from the morning. My gut feeling said this might be a good time to short, even if it's a short scalp. And then I had a gut feeling we're going to turn around from here, and that really worked after all. I didn't think we'll make it all the way up here before the market closed, but we clearly did. So I guess a bullish sign for the bulls. And a bullish whatever sign, whatever. You know what I mean? I can't focus, man. I'm so out of it right now. VIX did not make it back into that channel though. I think I'm about to remove this channel personally and create a zone here. But for now, I don't see any real patterns forming except for this range here. This is the upper range and the lower range. But I'm going to keep this on here for now. I might remove it sometime tomorrow, seeing what the reaction is tomorrow, which is Wednesday, right? Yeah. So, yep. Nothing more to report. So, Soka Ashi Matashi Ashimatashi. I don't know. I'm trying to say see you tomorrow in Japanese, and I don't remember it. I should do my language lessons soon. Even though I've been extra stupid the past few days, I'm still trying to work out, do my language lessons and do what I'm supposed to do. Unfortunately, I just didn't update this, mainly because I did not really foresee myself trading today. Anyways,